Minasan, and welcome back to Kanji Stories, the channel where every single day I break down the world's best language and the individual symbols that go along with that language. Today we're talking about the symbol that means to eat. And if you love to eat, which is probably what most of you are doing here on YouTube, checking out people eat food in Japan, I don't blame you because Japanese food's amazing and I love it. If you get to go to Japan, you have to make sure you go to Osaka. Their takoyaki is to die for, as well as their okonomiyaki. And then, of course, you have to get kumoto ramen, which is one of my favorites. With that, let's talk actually about the Japanese. So before we get into where this kanji comes from, because this is actually kind of confusing, that we also have how we read it. Now, this is very important. The on readings, there are two of them, and both of them are both fairly commonly used. And then the kun readings are used fairly often as well. So unlike a lot of other kanji where you simply have to memorize one or two readings, it's very important to be able to remember the difference in all four of the main readings. Ha is almost never used, and you don't have to worry about that one. But the first one is shoku, followed by jiki. And this is what usually happens when kanji are combined and put two kanji into one word. So when you see this, and I'll give a couple of examples later on here in this episode, exactly how that works. But shoku is going to be a little bit more popular than jiki, all right? Shoku is going to be more popular than jiki. Then we have the kun reading, taberu, and then we also have ku. Now, taberu in this case, and I'll give an example here a little bit later, is mostly what we're using to eat. Ku is going to be a little less formal and is usually how animals eat or people that are being somewhat impolite. With that, though, let's talk about the etymology, because there's some kind of conflict of what exactly these words are. So the first one we have here is a person over the top. If you've seen my previous podcast, there's a lot of different ways to write person in a kanji. The most common being writing it on the left side, which usually kind of looks like a one-sided spear. But this is going to mean a person up here, followed by, I believe, to be the symbol yoi, the symbol for good. Now, there are some other people who believe that this is the symbol to stop, or simply see the shoku kanji, the symbol we have in front of us now, to be a kanji radical in of itself. I disagree. I personally think that, at least in terms of memorization, it's good to be able to create stories from kanji, even these very beginner, early level kanji. So when you look at this kanji, I see a happy or a good person, a person in a good mood, because after I eat something, I'm in a really good mood because I've eaten something. So you can see a person jumping over a stop with a one in between, which I think is kind of asinine, honestly. Or, one person gets one portion. I don't know. But I prefer to look at it from the yoi standpoint and see it as a person who is happy. With that, though, let's talk about some common words. And at least I hope that helps you memorize this kanji. So the common words here are like shokuji. Shokuji, again, shoku is a little bit more common than jiki, and quite a bit, I would honestly say, for common words, but jiki is also used. However, shokuji would be like a meal. Shokuji suru, a meal that someone prepares for you, is a great thing to have. Then we have taberu, to eat. Now again, taberu is more to eat and is a little more polite. There's a more polite way of saying even that. You can say meshiagaru, but there is also ku, which we see down here at the second reading under the kun reading. Then we have shokudo. If you go to a school in Japan, you'll undoubtedly go to the shokudo, which is usually the dining hall, or as we call it in English, the cafeteria. With that, though, I will sign off. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, or you tell me actually what your thoughts are for what you would see for the story in this particular video. Make sure to click the two videos on the other side to learn another kanji, and I will see you tomorrow. Until then, remember, after 10,000 mistakes, you become fluent. ですから一緒に間違いましょう。それじゃあ、また明日。